Hello, my name's Joey and welcome back to the channel. Now today what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about an absolutely beautiful piece of history which I had the pleasure and privilege, I think it's more a privilege, to own. Um, this is an original B-3 flying jacket, an American jacket. Um, Sadly I have to sell it because I need the money. No. I shouldn't really joke about things like that either, really. But no, sadly I need it. I don't have a lot of money, but sadly I need it because I need to have room. Long story short, getting a new bed. This stays under the bed because it's not strong enough to wear, so it really needs to be kept somewhere, and I just won't have the room. And it really needs to be displayed like this, and I don't have the room for that either. So I really don't want to let it go because it's been an absolute privilege to borrow this for a while. Because let's be honest, everything we own, we are technically borrowing when it comes to history. So I've borrowed this for about 7 years. I bought it, obviously. I've improved it as well, and it's going to go to a new owner. It's on eBay as we speak, so who knows? Who knows? So anyway, this beautiful B-3 coat, flying jacket, American. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the video off and do some close-ups, basically, of it. When I bought this, the complete shoulder had completely collapsed, so I had to repair it. So what's beautiful about this jacket is that during its lifetime, it's had a mass of rips and tears, and it's been repaired, and it's really been repaired in a proper wartime way where I'll explain as you see the close-ups. Nothing has been wasted, and it literally is functional. Some of the leather patches are red. You know, they're not matching. It's not pretty because this is a work coat. This is a war coat. This is a combat jacket, and that's what it was doing. It was at war. It was worn by someone who is braver than I think I could ever be, and that's why I think it's a privilege to have owned this. I've worn it a few times out. I mean, it's very fragile. It needs to be kept on a dummy. This dummy wears it. And when I put it on in the mirror, I feel privileged. I feel privileged that I get the chance to wear it. I don't know who this belonged to. We'll never know who this belonged to. Apparently it came from Stockport originally. It was found in a pub in Stockport, and it was in a suitcase in a pub of the classic story. Lots of letters. About 20 years ago, the guy I bought it off of, and he said he really regrets throwing. He threw lots of it out. There were hats, there were letters, you know, and the only thing he kept was a jacket. So yes, as I say, when I wear this, I feel privileged. It feels like an honour. You know, I'm one of these people that watches war films with survivor's guilt. I don't know why, but I always have survivor's guilt when I watch it. So I'm always very, very appreciative of the people, the young boys, the young men who wore these jackets, you know. So yes, this is an original B-3 American flying jacket, and it's going to be sold. It will be sold as we speak. It still has a lot of life left in it, but it really should be on a dummy because it's very brittle in places. You know, you move the arms and it will start to tear, and it does tear, and every repair tends to then rip away, and you know, you're it's like you're repairing air and it's just gonna keep pulling. So yeah, it really needs to be displayed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk around the camera, and I'm going to press pause. How excited! And I'm just going to literally do some close-ups basically. Yes, because this, I want to conserve this to history as this goes out to its new owner. Yeah, I'm sad to let it go, but I don't have the room. Right, here we go. I'll enjoy it one last second before the pause happens. So as you can see, it's got an Air Ministry zip. So at some stage in its life, it's been repaired with a British zip. I don't know if they had Air Ministry zips as standards, I don't know. You can see here that at one stage the complete zip has had to be removed and replaced. A lot of the stitching is me, but then a lot of it is actually genuine to World War II as well. So yes, it's a mixture of my stitching and the World War II stuff. But yeah, look, and a complete leather panel has been added where the zip has been changed, because obviously originally the zip would have been down the middle, but now it's off center. It's absolutely beautiful. As I say, I don't want to let this go, but I'm going to have to. The leather's got a lot of life left in it still. So let's look at some other details. Has the standard one pocket that they always had. Here's a wartime rip here that's been kind of pulled together. Is that a rip? No, it might even be a scar. I think that's scarring on the leather. I always took that to be a rip, but no, I think that's a scar. You see it belonged to an engineer. ENGR, short for engineer. So running down the arm here, there was a massive hole in the sleeve, and I had to repair that with this piece of leather. That's actually one of my favourite repairs, because that was pretty flawless. Underneath it is just a big hole, basically, like where the sheepskin had gone. Okay, so we have a massive patch here. See this patch? This is a repair. That's what I mean about literally you're kind of, it's almost like you're sewing air to air. You know, you sew it to the leather, but the leather you sew it to is not strong enough to take it. So you know, it needs to be loved. It needs to be on a dummy, basically. I love the big leather bits on the shoulder, almost the V-shape leather on the shoulder there. I think the paint splashes are original to its World War II days. So here we have the shoulder. So underneath here, this is an original 1940s repair. This is me. This is me. That's me. I had to build the complete shoulder back, as you can see, because it was completely dead. There was a gaping hole there. So this is me as well. Now it does look rather patchy, but one of the things I love about this is because my dad used to say, when he used to get the replicas of the flying jackets, he used to say the real ones were a mass of patches. And this is why I love this one, because this really is a mass of patches. What I'll do is I'll turn it round and you can see what I mean. So as you can see, the reverse, a mass of patches. Now this is genuine to 1940s. This is genuine 1940 leather that I took off a rotten leather jerkin. Unfortunately, it's my stitching there. Now, the reason the stitching is rough, the reason the stitching is done by hand, I wanted to get this professionally restored. That's genuinely World War II. I wanted to get this professionally restored, but I was advised that because of the age of it, they couldn't run it through a machine. So I thought, at the end of the day, I'm going to have to do this myself. So I set about obviously hand stitching it. And as you can see, it's not amazing, but it looks like field repairs. And from a distance, you know, the aesthetic matches up. So this patch is genuinely 1940 odd. I think I found this was dated to 1943, this jacket. But this is my favourite detail. I love that red patch there. That really is functional. It's a war jacket, it's a work jacket, it's a combat jacket. It's also worn by an engineer. So I like to think a lot of these rips and these patches are the results of working on planes, being on his back, that kind of business. I've seen one other example on eBay that is full of patches. So it's good to get that reference. I think even these have been restitched in their time at some point. As I say, this is an absolutely beautiful piece of history. There really is a massive... Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is a wartime patch as well. Look at that. Now, somewhere I'm sure I saw a patch had been removed and put back on. How could I have seen that? I don't know. Who knows? Let's have a look. What else have we got? There's that massive patch we saw earlier underneath. Right, yes, I'm going to turn it round and show you my absolute favourite detail on this. So here we go. We have the press studs here, and if you want to press stud your fur collar to the jacket, there you go. There you go. So of course here, at one stage in its life, look at that, another red patch again. At one stage in its life, this press stud has ripped away. So because it's wartime, because we're not wasting anything, what they've done is they've kept this press stud on its piece of leather, and they've sewn this red patch on there, and then they've sewn that button on top of that again. You know, real wartime. You know, you can't just run and get yourself a new button. You know, we've got to preserve and keep everything. Absolutely amazing. I love that detail. That to me really shows you know, resilience. Don't waste anything. You know, yeah, don't be wasteful. I think that's probably about it on the jacket. If anyone's interested, I might just do a few close-ups anyway, just to preserve the history. I'm going to talk about one more little piece of history that I've got, which is relevant to this, but for now I'm just going to do a few more shots of it, then I'll get back onto that little piece of history I'm going to talk about in a mo. So under the arm we've got a nice patch there as well. That's my stitching, which you can see highlighted there, but the patch is genuine. Love these buckles. Oh yeah, that's the patch. I'm looking at the stitching there. Lots of wear and tear under the arm. Oh, look at this. I've never seen this before. I don't know if that's dyed or the remains of some paint. Let's have a look. Now looking at it here, and it almost is the remains of possibly some pattern. I don't know, maybe not, or just a very poor dyed job. I've never really seen that. Interesting. So here's the label, size 40, that's me, type B3. Just about see property of US Army right down there. And here's the massive hole. That's how much was missing from the shoulder. Look at that, so I had to patch that up completely. Right, I think that's probably enough until it goes to its new owner. Yeah, for years I thought that was a... I think that is a stitch. Okay, so it's not a scar, it's a stitch. It's been pulled, I think. Don't know. Yes, it is a stitch. There's the thread there. There's the thread that's been left on it. Okay, so not a scar, it's a stitch. So that was the jacket, and now onto the other thing which is slightly relevant. This book on aircraft navigation. Not the most interesting book in the world to me. 1943, same year as the jacket. But the reason I love this book, not only has it got somebody's rank number and their name in it, 1606987 AC2 Sanders AV, but the amazing thing about this is, on the inside are some calculations on a piece of paper. Absolutely very, very neat handwriting. Very neat handwriting. But the paper itself, when replying right to, and it's dated, it's printed 1940, then you just add the 41, 42. Just on the edge, the remains of a crest, Air Force Institute. And yeah, this is just, it's amazing. 7th of July. This is somebody's downtime written in this book. And the reason I love this book, the reason I got it, the reason this is brilliant. On the inside, I think it's a Spitfire. There's a doodle by the person who owned the book. And that's just brilliant. The reason I love that, and I think it says one of the leftovers. And what's amazing about that is that was drawn at the time when these aircraft were flying. And that's a great piece of history. We've grown up with this history. We've grown up with the films. We've grown up with the photographs. We've grown up with the stories. But to sound like Belloc, this is history right here. This is a primary source. This was drawn when these things were in the air. Yeah, so this is why I love this book. And this is why, of course, I put the two together, because they're very, very relevant. And they're both the same year, coincidentally. So, yes, it's the 14th of April today. So this ends at 7:30 tonight, and it's about 6 something now. So 7:30 tonight, this goes off to its new owner. I will be sad to see it go. I've said that about 1,000 times. But yeah, so I just wanted to consign this to history. Consign it to history and say goodbye to it. Say goodbye to my loaning of this history. Just wish I had the room. I've got too many historical items, so I can't keep this. There's no room. There's no room. It just sits under a bed. Well protected, but it sits under a bed. Okay, I suppose just for the last time, let's, yeah, there we are. Do it up there. There we are. Keep yourself warm. Right. As I always say, look after yourselves, take care, and I shall see you soon on the next video. Yes, indeed. Take care. See you soon. I've just said that.